I'm Gabby Logan, and you're joining me live at the iconic Royal Opera House in London, where Land Rover are about to reveal the brand new Range Rover to the world. Trust me, you do not want to miss this. Hello everyone, it's so exciting to be here tonight live at the Royal Opera House, a centre for art and culture in the UK, and the perfect venue to reveal the new Range Rover. For over 50 years, the Range Rover has been the go-to luxury SUV for rock stars and royalty. In a few minutes, Jaguar Land Rover's CEO Thierry Bolloré will introduce us to the next evolution of modern luxury by unveiling the new Range Rover to a global audience. We'll be joining him very soon, but whilst we wait, here's what happened earlier tonight when I caught up with some very special guests attending tonight's prestigious event. Ella Henderson, isn't this an exciting event? Looking forward to seeing the new Range Rover.
Absolutely, I'm very excited. For me, Range Rover just reminds me of my childhood growing up. We always had the Range Rover Vogue growing up, and my parents have had that car since 2009. So for the majority of my childhood, it just reminds me of throwing my school bag in the back, or getting the dogs in, going for walks, or fitting my very first keyboard to my very first paid gig. It was the only car it had even fit in.
Oh, you've maybe go a bit tingly, Ella. That's the history of a Range Rover right there in one family.
Is. And I think for me, it's just we always call my mum and dad's car just the most dependable car, and that's exactly what it is.
But stylish too.
Stylish, elegant, and sturdy. It's always there for you.
Yeah. Well, let's see what you think of tonight's version. That'll be interesting. And maybe an upgrade for the parents.
Maybe an upgrade for the parents if they're looking.
Enjoy the rest of your night. Lovely to meet you.
Thank you.
Super Seth Saff is with me now, and you are the technology guru, right? So I imagine what you're excited about tonight is seeing the kind of tech that is on the new Range Rover.
Yeah, very, very excited. Huge Range Rover fan. So there's been I really don't know what to expect. It's been very secretive, so very excited to see what's going to be revealed.
What do you think it is about this car that just attracts so many, it's so iconic, attracts so many people? You know, you see the names and the faces that are here. People love Range Rover.
I think it's the reputation, really, when there's been something that's people have used for so long and are familiar with, and they know about the reliability. It's something that I think just, creates excitement, and I'm here for it.
And what is it that you love about the Range Rover?
The overall experience. It's just amazing to drive, all of the features. But yeah, I'm excited to see what new tech will be coming, for sure.
Okay, well, I'll let you go and get even more excited.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you for having me.
Right, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Jaguar Land Rover's CEO Thierry Bolloré is about to take to the stage and introduce the world to the new Range Rover. Let the global reveal begin. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chief Executive Officer Jaguar Land Rover, Thierry Bolloré.
Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining on what is a very special evening. Today marks a significant step in reimagining the future of our enterprise, the future of modern luxury by design. For the last 50 years, Range Rover has been the envy of the car industry. In many ways, it was the founder of luxury SUVs, the most luxurious, the most innovative, the most desirable. It's truly unique. It is a leader driven by leaders, on the road, off the road, around the globe. Ladies and gentlemen, you do not dream up this kind of success story overnight. The depth of Range Rover has matured over several generations. Behind every generation, there has been a hugely talented and dedicated team, never more so than today. I must say thank you and congratulations to everyone involved in creating the fantastic vehicle we see for the first time tonight. And it's a huge honor to be with you on the eve of another great moment in our history. Now it gives me great pleasure to welcome Jerry McGovern, our Chief Creative Officer, to the stage to reveal our new flagship to the world. Jerry, to you.
Good evening, everyone. We've got something very special for you tonight. Did you know that the original Range Rover was the first vehicle ever to be displayed at the Louvre in Paris as being an exemplary piece of design? 50 years later, and 4 generations later, Range Rover's peerless character and engineering supremacy has cemented its position as the world's leading luxury SUV. And it is driven by world leaders, high achievers, and members of royal families. It can be seen all over the world, and it is admired. Its iconic status is a reflection of its cultural and creative significance. And that's why we're here tonight at the Royal Opera House, a bastion of creativity and emotional engagement. Of course, Range Rover lives in the world of luxury, a world that's changed dramatically from when the original Range Rover first started. A world where sustainability, longevity, and sophistication have become increasingly important in that world of luxury. That doesn't mean to say that luxury is any less relevant. On the contrary, it's even more relevant. But there is no real luxury without desirability. The great luxury brands, the best luxury brands and products and experiences are the ones that resonate with customers and clients on an emotional level. And that starts with the eyes. When I look at it, do I desire it? Because if you don't, you're not going any further. And that is why in our design philosophy, desirability is the first element. We embrace an aesthetic called modernism that defines the way our vehicles look. What is modernism? What does it mean? Well, for us, it means designs that are clean, reductive, free from over-ornamentation, free from excessive detail and lines. They have a level of restraint, but they're not cold and they're not clinical. They are emotionally engaging, And you can see it in some of the vehicles we've already produced. And you will see it tonight in abundance when you see the new Range Rover. And of course, our vehicles are about other things too. They're about their integrity of purpose, the fact that the engineering and the technical innovation is of a certain standard. And of course, our Range Rovers have always been about their capability, their ability to go above and beyond and take people wherever they want to go. Range Rover is no ordinary vehicle, and ultimately, it is about enriching our customers' lives. Before I reveal the vehicle to you, I just want you to think for a moment about these two quotes. The first one is by Mies van der Rohe, who was arguably the greatest modernist architect of the 20th century. He coined the phrase, less is more. For Range Rover, less is compellingly more. And Coco Chanel, who needs no introduction, once said that luxury lies not in the richness of things, but in the absence of vulgarity. Tonight, the story of Range Rover enters a new chapter. Ladies and gentlemen, the new Range Rover. Thank you, Tokyo Myers. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the new Range Rover. Breathtaking in its modernity and impeccable in its restraint. Look at those magnificent proportions. Look at that distinctive silhouette. Couldn't be anything else, could it, but a Range Rover? But look how clean it is. Look at these beautifully sophisticated surfaces that are taut and free from excess. Look at how few lines there are on the vehicle. In fact, I could describe the car in 3 to 4 lines. The gently falling roofline, the continuous waistline, and this one feature that runs the whole length of the body and gives the body its tension, starting at the clamshell bonnet and running all the way through and ending in that beautiful ingot at the back. And that reductive nature continues. Flush glazing, removal of door finishers, flush door handles, beautifully integrated door panel insert. Yeah, and look at those magnificent wheels. 23-inch wheels that give the vehicle its strong stance and presence. This thing is a chariot for ladies and gentlemen. Now, let's spin it to the front. The new face of Range Rover. 2 elements. The upper element that houses the grille, which is beautifully detailed and precise. It drops down slightly from the headlamp to give it an air of formality. And then these lamps, which are highly technical. When you get close to them, they appear to be made from expensive cut glass. The lower element, this 2-bar design that again runs the whole width of the front to give it that stance, that presence, while also disguising the fact that all the parking sensors and the front radar are housed within. Look how short this front end is, this front overhang, which plays a fundamental part in creating those magnificent proportions. And then, of course, this is a Range Rover, the one element, the one area where it's paying homage to its past, with a perennial clamshell bonnet design and these modernized castellations on the top surfaces. This is a face of a vehicle that has confidence, it has prestige, and it has refinement. Let's look at the back. Enjoy looking at it as it slowly moves round. When it's on the road, it'll go a bit quicker, I can assure you. As it comes round, have a look at those beautiful curvaceous haunches at the rear that terminate with this, what we call a cord line, which accentuates the shoulder, that strong shoulder that looks like a well-exercised deltoid muscle. And this cord line continues all the way round the upper element of the design of the rear and encases everything within. This secret to lit panel again runs the whole length of the rear, which gives the car its width. and within that is housed the indicators. And then coming down into these incredibly slim verticals where the rear lights are housed. Now, the simplicity of this back end, the beauty is in its simplicity, which belies the very complex engineering that had to go into making this thing look so simple. And of course, this is a Range Rover, so the emblematic split tailgate is maintained. It wouldn't be a Range Rover without that very important feature. So, that's a very quick overview of the exterior design, but the interior design is equally compelling in its desirability, and it takes that modernist reductive approach and takes the interior to sublime levels of refinement and sophistication. Let's listen to this.
Inside, the vision was for a calm sanctuary. A Range Rover interior provides a magnificent, stress-free, harmonious environment for first-class travel. New Range Rover has an interior designed for all its occupants. It is precise and sophisticated in its design and execution, communicating quality and integrity.
The new Range Rover interior is the pinnacle of Land Rover Design's materiality strategy, which is to redefine luxury materials within the automotive industry. In line with our customer values, we have developed interior options for new Range Rover that are more sustainable, more responsible, and more progressive.
For the first time, the long wheelbase Range Rover offers a full third-row seating option. This is a true Range Rover execution of 7 seats. Headroom, legroom, shoulder room were all optimized to benefit from every millimeter, to create a third-row seat that feels just as good as the others in the vehicle.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as you've just heard, for the first time ever on a Range Rover, it will have 7 seats. I once said, over my dead body, but we managed to achieve it. So, SV. What's SV about? The SV Range Rover. SV is all about curation. It's curating these vehicles to amplify the luxurious nature of the Range Rover and the ability to personalise. It's all about choice, and it's handcrafted. Ladies and gentlemen, the new Range Rover SV. The new Range Rover SV. So let me talk a little bit about the differences at the front. They're quite subtle, the differences, but if you think about it this way, this is Range Rover in its purest form. This SV theme is called Serenity. It's got an icy white paint, and it uses precious materials, particularly at the front, in terms of this 5-bar design of the grille at the upper and the lower. And then the grille surround is in a Corinthian bronze. And what these changes do is give the vehicle just a bit of a twist in terms of its personality. It makes it look a bit more regal. It makes it look slightly more prestigious. It's about choice. Pure versus prestige. When we look at the side view, you'll see that those small changes again. The roof is finished in a Corinthian bronze paint. And this door insert panel, again, is finished in the Corinthian and a metal with the SV logo laser etched into it. And then when we turn to the back, again, subtle differences. This feature between the split tailgate, again, is finished in the Corinthian bronze. And then also the Corinthian bronze on the nomenclature of the Range Rover name. Now, all SVs will carry the SV badge, which is finished in a ceramic. We've used ceramic because for us that symbolizes modern luxury. Now, there's also another theme. It's called Intrepid. It's a satin copper red color, and it uses other precious materials, again in those areas, as you can see on the visual, on the grille, upper and lower, on the wheels and on the roof, and on the side panel, which is an anthracite and graphite finish. So, what this one does is it gives the vehicle another twist. It gives it more of a stealth-like appearance. So you could argue 3 twists in personality, because Range Rover has the ability to do that. Pure prestige stealth. When it comes to the interior is a revelation. It's truly aspirational. Lustrous metals, mosaic marquetry, soft aniline leathers, sustainable ultra fabrics, and the ceramic come together to create an interior that is truly aspirational. It is modern luxury by design. So, ladies and gentlemen, the new Range Rover. A vehicle that doesn't follow fashion, it doesn't follow trends. It's born from a creative desire for perfection. And it is the most desirable Range Rover ever created. But it's also the most technically capable Range Rover ever created.
Wow, there it is, the hotly anticipated new Range Rover, revealed live here tonight at the Royal Opera House in London. To find out more, head over to landrover.com. I'm joined now by 2 instrumental members from the design team who've been involved from day one to tell us more about its conception, a vehicle over 5 years in the making. And Land Rover's design director, Massimo Frascella, and colour and materials director, Amy Frascella. First of all, congratulations, guys. You must be absolutely thrilled with what you just saw tonight.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. It's just a special night, you know, after 5 years working on a project like this. I mean, we're talking about the Range Rover. It just feels so special.
And relief.
Yeah, a bit surreal.
Tell us 5 years from when you sit down and there's a piece of paper, a blank piece of paper, and then you come up with a car as beautiful as that. Yeah, that is a scary journey. What are the challenges you face along the way?
Well, the challenge is you are replacing a vehicle that is so established, is the benchmark, is the, you know, it's peerless. There's nothing else like it. So the challenge is changing enough so you deliver that progression that the vehicle needs, but don't change too much because otherwise you lose the essence of Range Rover.
Yeah, and obviously what you've done there is beautiful, and the back end of the car as well looks so impressive.
The back end is what I define like it is a piece of art delivered by design and engineering. There's so much design content and technology and engineering around that rear of the vehicle that is incredible.
Let's go inside the car now, shall we, Amy? And this word materiality, tell me a little bit more about what that means and what that means for the customer.
Well, really the new Range Rover is the pinnacle of Land Rover Design's materiality strategy, which for us is about redefining luxury materials within our industry. Materiality really is our uncompromised vision of
innovation in materials and processes and technologies that will deliver more social, economical, and environmental initiatives. And really understanding the changing luxury landscape with our customers, we knew that we had to develop more options for those customers that were more responsible, more sustainable, and more progressive.
You've done that, and it is beautiful as well. Go and have
Thank you.
a well-earned glass of champagne
surely
or
do
two,
now.
both of you. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
joining me. Let's head back inside as Jaguar Land Rover's Chief Commercial Officer, Lennart Hunik, is about to tell us some of the pioneering innovations we can expect from this new Range Rover.
And what an amazing day it is to be here all together with all of you on this stage with this beautiful, beautiful new Range Rover just behind me. And the design is just fantastic. And you can see this beautiful glass, flush glass on the sides. The door handles really nicely popping in. It's just an amazing car. But I'm going to talk to you more about all the technology features that are in the car. What really to the front. And first of all, I want to say I'm so humbled to be here. This is a big journey, a very long journey of Range Rover. This is already the next generation. And to play a tiny little part in presenting this here to you is a very humbling experience. So I'm very, very happy to be here. So where do you start? How do you reimagine? How do you reimagine a Range Rover? Where do you start? We started with 30,000 conversations with Range Rover owners, really understanding what they like. They like that you can see the corners in the front. They like the very comfortable drive. They love the off-road capabilities and so much more. We keep all that. We're improving on all of that and adding new technology. And that takes time. 7 million hours of time is what blood, sweat and tears of our engineering teams, our design teams, our manufacturing teams, our operations teams, putting into this vehicle. 7 million hours of blood, sweat and tears for 5 years. And not only that, they spent about 1 million kilometers driving in real-world testing to make sure that the quality of the Range Rover goes to a completely new standard. And in addition to that, you bump into so many new things that you're doing, so many new technologies that are included in the car, that we've been able to file hundreds of patents, hundreds already granted, and hundreds more to be granted soon. So there's a lot of unique innovation into this Range Rover. And I'm going to talk to you about a few of these things. The first one is about electrification. The Range Rover, the new Range Rover, will be with a 6-cylinder new plug-in hybrid, which has a range of up to 100 kilometers, purely electric. So in electric mode, you drive for 100 kilometers. That means, according to the data they have from the old Range Rover, that 3 out of 4 journeys will be completely electric, with 0 tailpipe emissions, really in the silent electric mode. 3 out of 4. Actually, I'm also very excited to let you know and to announce that we are going to launch the all-electric, 100% electric Range Rover by 2024. Wow. So, we are focusing on 3 key areas today, and I would like to explain you a few of the stories and the problems that we have solved. The first one is about dynamics, the driving dynamics. The next one is about refinement within the cabin. And the third one is about connected technology, the smart technology in the car. So let's talk about the dynamics first, the driving dynamics. Of course, it's about how a car drives, even over uneven surfaces like potholes or other things. And the other one is about how you go through the bends and the corners. So first of all, talking about the comfort of that drive over potholes and corners. And that is really about a new technology that we invented, which is the twin valve dampers. They used to be single valve dampers on the old Range Rover. Now they're twin valve dampers. And they go for 500 times a second. They measure it and really making sure that they adjust quickly enough to get you this really magic carpet ride. And the other thing is the active body roll systems. So when you go through the corner, that the car doesn't sort of head over. You don't get this head toss at all, but you stay nicely seated. To do that, we have now 2 twin motors on those body roll systems with 1,400 Newton meters. That is twice as much as the previous Range Rover. Really making sure that you get a beautiful, comfortably ride also when you go through the corners. So the driving dynamics really improved. The next thing that we want to talk to you about is about parking. And parking is important because it's a big car. And when you want to park it, it can sometimes be difficult, especially in car parks that even sometimes are dark. And then, you also have this issue once you're in, is that the children, don't put the car door against the car door next, right? And you can't really put that shopping bag into the car. That's really annoying. So how, in a modern luxury strategy, our engineers again thought, how do we solve this issue? They got 3 new technologies. First of all, the new Range Rover is the first all-wheel steering Range Rover. The rear wheel system can go by 7 degrees. That makes sure that you got a turning cycle of less than 11 meters, which is about the turning cycle of a small car. This big car. How amazing is that? The second one is the camera system, right? We got the camera system, makes a 360-degree camera all around, but it also has night shift mode. So even in the dark, you can see perfectly all around you. And then, the best one of all is our app. Because what it can do is that, you drive, and before you want to go in, and you say, oh, that's a narrow space, you just step out of the car, you put your bags in or your bags out, you put the children in or the children out, whatever you like, you take out your phone, and through the app, the car will park itself perfectly right in the middle of the spot. No stress. Real modern luxury, really solving the issues. Of course, terrain response, the all-terrain response system of the Range Rover is unique to us. It's a really good system, and we know it from the old Range Rover, and of course it will go into the new Range Rover with lots of different improvements. First of all, of course, it allows you to go wherever you want to go off-road, but at the same time, also when you're driving through the rain or other places, where the weather is a bit harsh, it really helps you to be safe. In addition to that, the new weight program that we have also allows you to really do the settings all by yourself if you are one of those experts, specialist users. But in addition to that, of course, the weight program is very important. The car can go still through 90 centimeters of wading depth. And by the way, therefore, it's all sealed from the water, which means also, by the way, road noise or polluted air cannot come in that way, right? Really a good advantage for when you drive in the city. But also, there is a sonar technology on the front and the sides, which making sure that before you drive into the water, that you don't go over that 90 centimeters and endanger yourself. It's a really good new sonar technology in the new Range Rover, optimizing that all-terrain response system, which Range Rover so well about. So let's talk about refinement. And of course, often the roads are, uneven. There are potholes, or there is other things on the road, and therefore, those vibrations that come into the car, you really notice that, right? Especially when you sit in the back. So our engineers again say, how do we solve that problem? And one of the key things to do is to make sure that the chassis, the solid chassis that is sort of almost out of one piece, is really strong. And actually we made it 50% stiffer than the previous Range Rover. And by making it 50% stiffer, also there's 25% less vibrations. And how can we make it stiffer? Is because we're using different materials. It's 80% aluminium, and then high-grade steel and boron materials to create that tough structure. And therefore it looks like it's honed out of one big piece. So that's one part of reducing noise and vibration. But that was not enough. We again looked further, and active noise-cancelling headphones are very much available. And we thought about that technology, and the engineers were brilliant. I have to say, they put 4 microphones in each of the wheel arches that measure the sound of the road, the noise that is there, then translate that into an anti-sound, and then put that anti-sound through the speakers on the side, as well as through speakers in the headrest, really creating this really lovely, quiet environment where you can have those conversations that are so important in the car. How awesome is that? But that's not enough. We got less sound, we got less vibrations, but the air quality is also super important. You really want to make sure that you stay alert and that the car is a healthy place to be in. And therefore, we have got a whole set of filters, PM2.5 filters, which are very important. Those are those particle sizes that can go into your bloodstream and the nasty things, as well as PM10, which is the slightly bigger ones. And on top of that, we included 2 ionizers, one in the front and one in the back, really ensuring that you get a very healthy cabin environment, which takes out odors, which takes out bacteria, but even pathogens like the COVID pathogen will be captured by the filters. That is really important. Healthy air, quiet environment, and less vibration. That is refinement. So, talking about technology, of course, a lot of you probably have some sort of voice assistant at home, like Amazon Alexa. We ask Alexa almost anything, so why don't we adapt that also into the car? And this is what you can do in the new Range Rover. It's really beautifully, perfectly integrated into the user interface, and you can ask Alexa the commands to turn up the music or change the song, and we even included the perfect integration of the Spotify app as well. Really, really good. But that's not enough. You can even do it from your home, which is very important, right? So you can be in your home, you sit down, and actually, you know, you can say, can you please, if it's a bit cold outside, can you turn up the heating in my car, Alexa? Alexa, can you turn the lights on? So when you are then going out of your home, you go into the car is fully ready for you. How amazing is that? That all using the Alexa technology. And of course, there is a lot of features on the car. There's a million lines of code in these vehicles nowadays. So how do we optimize that? Is by using over-the-air technology and continuously upgrade the car to the latest software with new features and other things that we have. Always up to date, the new Range Rover. One of the most critical things in the 30,000 conversations that we had was that people said, can we please have a third row? So that we have a proper 7 of us in the new Range Rover. And with one car, we can go to a dinner or a family fest or where you want to go. And that was, you know, how do you keep the design and do that? So we created the extended Range Rover. It's only 20 centimeters longer. But you got a beautiful second row and a fantastic third row as well. Actually, why is it so beautiful in the second row? Because you got 1 meter of legroom. Great for people like me, or even taller people than me. But at the same time, on the third row, you still have 90 centimeters of leg room. Really a proper seat with proper shoulder. You can sit there and still have space and feel spacious as well. On the third row. But again, the engineers thought that's not enough. What else am I going to do? And they made sure that those awkward moments that we sometimes will have when you have to go into a second or especially into a third row is how do you step in and it's all a bit like, you know, can I still do it? Especially when, you know, it's not great. And especially when you're as stiff as me, by the way. So it's incredibly difficult. And so our engineers made the second row go forward and upwards so you got the same space to go into the third row as what you have in the second row. That is very, very cool. So, tailgate parties, we all love them, and we want to sit down onto the tailgate, and more and more. And therefore, our engineers thought about that one more time, and they said, you know what I'm going to do? We're going to make it bear 350 kilos on the tailgate. That's about that's about 3.5 of me. Sorry. It's about 3.5 of me can actually sit on that tailgate. And then also we provided these beautiful cushions that it sit really nicely and a backrest. So you can actually lean as well at the same time and drink your glass of champagne when you go to the races or whatever you want to do. A fantastic tailgate party. That. And again, as you expect from the new Range Rover, this new generation of an icon, we went one step further because now, you know, you sit there on the tailgate and you want to change the volume or you want to change the lights. How do you do that? You have to step out and go all the way to the front of the car? No. You can just use your phone and on the on the app, change the settings really nicely, really easily, really modern luxury all around. So, what a beautiful car. The new Range Rover, you know, when the first time I stepped into it, actually next to an engineer, I got goosebumps over my body. It was so many stories to tell. I can go on all night. But it is a very, very special vehicle. I really hope you are going to enjoy it as much as we do. Really all that detail and refinement in both the design as well as the technology. Really another generation of a real true icon. And to play a little part of that in the journey is extremely exciting. And I'm really, really proud of everybody at JLR to make a car like this. Thank you so much. And Alexa, is there anything else that we should know about the Range Rover?
No, thank you, Leonard. It's time to get the party started.
Thank you very much. And hope you enjoy the car as much as we do. Thank you very much.
Fantastic to hear from Leonard there, once again proving that this new Range Rover truly is ahead of the game when it comes to luxury SUVs. Now, earlier, Jerry revealed the SV model. I'm joined now by Jaguar Land Rover's Managing Director of Special Vehicle Operations, Michael van der Sande, to tell us a little bit more about it. Because, Michael, when you already have a car as exceptional as the new Range Rover, how do you then go kind of one step further with the SV? It's a challenge.
Thanks, Gary. Yes, it is already exceptional, but our department, Special Vehicle Operations, exists to amplify the characteristics of the car even further. Sometimes that's in luxury, sometimes in performance, sometimes in capability. But of course, in the case of this Range Rover, we dial up the luxury even further with beautiful materials, more functionality in luxury, and what I'd like to think is the best rear compartment in the business.
So give us a little taste then of what the customer can choose to make the car even more special for them.
Well, effectively, we offer two design themes, if you like, that really coordinate all those different choices to what we think is the ultimate expression of luxury. The first one is called SV Serenity, a really rich, calm, soothing environment. It's the white car that Jerry showed on the stage earlier, with beautiful leather, marquetry, ceramic finishes, wonderfully coordinated for a calm environment. The other theme we have, which we don't have here today, is what we call SV Intrepid, which for the customer that wants something a little bit stealthier, a little bit sportier. So it combines dark chrome with black ceramic and, you know, ultra fabric materials, really that slightly younger, stealthier look. So two themes really. And then on top of that, there's a wide range of options that the customer has in terms of paint, in terms of trim finishes, in terms of leather combinations. We have in this car front to rear split in leather. So the front of the car is a different environment from the rear. So we've got ultimate choice in this car ultimately, and we hope that the customer is going to be delighted with it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well done as well. Well, we've seen the breathtaking modernity and peerless design refinement of this new Range Rover, but what about its capability? Here's Jaguar Land Rover's Executive Director of Product Engineering, Nick Rogers, to tell us more about the state-of-the-art engineering behind this new luxury SUV.
This vision was so clear and so crisp, and it was simply that engineers do whatever it takes to make this amazing vehicle. And as engineers today, it's an absolute honour to be the custodian of that vision that we can propel forward in a modern world. Creating the new Range Rover with on-road comfort and all-terrain capability is a given. What's really exciting is creating electrified propulsion systems and connected capability. And all of this together is the reimagined new Range Rover.
Our next generation active noise cancellation technology is a world first. Using the headrest speakers, it creates quiet bubbles to provide an overall quieter customer driving experience.
As part of the interior air quality team, we're proud to be improving the well-being of the passengers in the cabin. In the new Range Rover, our advanced air purification and filtration technologies significantly reduce odours, bacteria and allergens and enhance air quality.
Every new Range Rover features all-wheel steering for an effortless drive, with heightened high-speed stability and improved manoeuvrability at low speed. With a turn-in circle of under 11 metres, this is the most manoeuvrable Range Rover ever.
Digital LED headlights are the most advanced headlights we've ever fitted to a Land Rover. We use navigation data to predict the road ahead, and this means we can light up the road before the driver even gets there.
For the first time, Range Rover offers 7 seats, the third row of which has no compromise to comfort or luxury. And we've utilised our long wheelbase platform, which is 200mm longer than our standard wheelbase, to offer first-class seating for all.
Some serious engineering there behind this incredible new Range Rover. Right, it's time to get some first-hand reactions from some of our guests here tonight. Fresh from the reveal, I'm delighted to say Laura Carmichael and Michelle Dockery are with me.
Hi.
Michelle, hi. Tell me what you think.
Oh, it's a beauty.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Subtle changes.
Yeah, and very smooth.
Yeah.
Excited about getting inside and driving one, I imagine.
Absolutely.
And the news, there is going to be an electric Range Rover by 2024, Laura.
Yeah, it's very exciting. It's a big game changer.
Yeah, feels like everything's going that way, as it should.
Why do you think it is that this car is so iconic and just all around the world, wherever you see them, they kind of transcend kind of the luxury market, don't they, in many ways, and certainly in terms of SUVs?
I think it's the tradition, isn't it?
Yeah.
It feels like it's such a traditional car and that sense of adventure.
That's it.
Yeah.
It does. It feels like an adventurous car.
Yeah.
Adventurous and luxurious.
Yes. Yeah.
There's a strap line right there.
New Range Rover. It leads by example with its breathtaking modernity, peerless refinement, and unmatched all-terrain capability, and is the most desirable Range Rover ever created. Flush joints, removal of finishers, and clean, expansive surfaces take Land Rover's modernist design philosophy to new levels of emotional engagement. Land Rover has always defined all-terrain capability. The award-winning and patented Terrain Response 2 system automatically detects, selects and deploys the optimum vehicle settings. The new Range Rover SV, which introduces the new SV branding, is an exquisite interpretation of Range Rover luxury and personalization. You can tailor to your individual tastes from a choice of design themes including SV Serenity and SV Intrepid. New Range Rover is available with a choice of more efficient, high-performance engines. An extended-range plug-in hybrid delivers a WLTP electric vehicle range of up to 100 kilometers, with an expected real-world range of up to 80 kilometers. Introducing the new Range Rover. It leads by example.
Well, look who's here. Jimmy Carr, Rob Brydon, fresh from seeing the brand new Range Rover. Your thoughts?
Well, he had to pull me away from the car.
I mean, I'm a big car guy, and I've got to say, the colour. I love the colour.
Yeah.
No, it's spectacular, isn't it? They've clearly, that's a couple of £1 billion spent on research and development, and then they've kind of hidden it. It's a very subtle sort of, it's a subtle improvement. It's like the work I've had done. Really, we've kept Rob the same as a test.
Well, technically.
And then I've got things changed over the years.
It's such an iconic car. So you imagine if you sit down, you've got the blank sheet of paper, and you're just tinkering with that design.
I'd be worried I would spoil it, Gabby, and I think, because they asked me to have a pass on it, you know, and give my ideas. I said no, because I might make it worse. And thank God they didn't go with me, because I think what they've done, in your words, wonderful.
It's spectacular. Now, when the first one came out 50 years ago, you were a young man, you were just starting to drive. What was it like, Rob?
Well, for me, it set me apart on the road, you know. Hang on a minute, that would make me how old?
No,
you see, he's very good at that, isn't he? He could have been a barrister. Or a barista. He could have been a barista,
It's 50 years old. I'm nearly 50 years old. I've got to say, it's aged better than me.
It's incredibly iconic, as we know. And, you know, you see Range Rovers all around the world. What is it that makes them so attractive?
Is it not the obvious? It's more comfortable than any other car.
Yes.
Is it not that just simple fact that you go, whether you're a world leader or a henchman off to kill someone in every movie that's ever been made?
I think we're staying...
It's the henchman's
choice, I think the official line, Jimmy, is rock star and royalty. I think that's how we...
Rock star and royalty, or third world leader and henchman.
Here at Jaguar Land Rover, we're not pushing so much on the whole henchman angle. We're kind of move away from that.
Tell you what, henchmen spend money on cars, Rob.
No, they don't. Their bosses do. And, you know, we don't really want to talk about evil megalomaniacs.
But they
For me, Gab...
They will take a bullet.
Yes, Rob.
For me, it's style. You've heard the expression style over substance, right? What I'm saying is it's style and substance.
And on that note, I
Yeah.
think, Rob, we should just park it there.
Middle C.
Thank you. Well, that's all the time we have left here at the Royal Opera House in London for the live reveal. This new Range Rover really is the most desirable yet, mixing breathtaking modernity and aesthetic grace with technological sophistication and seamless connectivity. It's also future-proofed with a PHEV model following next year and a pure electric model by 2024. All that's left is a big thank you to all of our guests who joined me tonight and to all of you for watching online. The new Range Rover is available to order and configure now online at landrover.com/new Range Rover. I'll leave you now with some of the highlights from this incredible event. Bye-bye.